Hey guys, it's Ryan with My Listing Club. In this video, we are continuing on with our educational series, how to build an online business using the My Listing theme. You can get your hands on the project template that we will be working from for this video series by going to the My Listing Club website. That's mylisting.club and scrolling on down the homepage a little bit and clicking on the My Listing project template card. Once you bring up that page, it's going to walk you through what this thing is all about. I'm also going to give you a first-hand look at this as part of this video. And if you've watched any of the other videos within this video series, you will have seen all of the other tasks that we've knocked down, but were included in the template before we did so. Okay. So I'll go ahead and get rid of this, and let's pick up where we left off in our template. With this template, it is designed to work top down, left to right. So if you follow it in that order, there's a 98, I'm just going to throw out a random number, but it's close, 98% accuracy that it's going to flow with your particular business, your particular site. Some task cards can be shifted around slightly, it depends, but this is how I build the sites myself. So I know that it works. I know that it works for clients. So so that is that. As you see in the far left column, where we are now this is all about WooCommerce now. And so let's go ahead and get into that. Looking at the back end of our website here, if we go to plugins, we'll see that we have Elementor Pro. We do have WooCommerce in there, and WP Codebox. Nothing was done with WooCommerce at this point. There's just literally nothing. It's just the plugin has been installed. So we're going to walk through this together, okay? Let's go back to our project template. And if you click on this card, it actually says, it actually tells what it is. So if you're using the setup wizard, so you can go in here. So if we click on, we'll go to the settings here. We are at a manual point now. So let's say that you installed WooCommerce and it dumped you into the setup widget, okay? Or the setup wizard, sorry. That's what I cover in this top section here. So I'm going to go ahead and get us back into that. I also think that clicking this finish setup button might do it. Maybe not. Anyway, I saved a link for us here. So we just follow this. This should get us back into the wizard. Okay, there we go. So let's go back to our template and see what this talks about. Install and activate the WooCommerce plugin. We've done that. Store details. Just enter the details into your information. We don't need to do that for this video because it's self-explanatory. So put in your company information and whatnot. So we'll hit skip setup store details. This will come up and say, do you want to get improved feature? I say no. I don't want WooCommerce to track anything I'm doing. Not oftentimes. What's going to happen here is it's called phoning home. So WooCommerce is going to be paying attention to your store and sending information back to their servers. So I'm going to click no thanks to that. So that's an undesirable. I didn't know that was going to kick us back out. So let's go back and look at the wizard again, see if we can get back into it. Okay, so it's going to make us do that. Okay, so I'll just put in, I don't need to put an address in for this video. I'll go ahead and put the country in. Yeah, it's going to make me put the address in too. So I'll go ahead and put United States. I'll put my information in here for the most part. Yep, that's fine. I do not want to tick this box to get tips, updates, and inspiration. Maybe if this was your very first WooCommerce site you've ever done and you want to stay on top of things, then maybe that would be good to check that box. But I've been doing this long enough that I don't need that stuff. I get that information elsewhere. So go ahead and we'll click continue here. Again, we're going to say no thanks so that WooCommerce doesn't do any usage tracking. I'm going to bounce back to the template and see if I have that in there. So install and activate, store details. Okay, yeah, so that is a check. That is in the notes. That's good. All right, let's go back here. We're just going to pick, you can pick whatever you want there. I'm just going to say other and then say other again. And click continue. This again is dependent upon your business. Let's go back here and see what we have. Industry, yeah, just other product types, yeah. So we're going to uncheck physical. You may have physical products, but if you don't have physical products, go ahead and uncheck that. Without looking at my notes, I think the only thing I would do here is uncheck physical notes and maybe do downloads, just so it gives us the ability to get to the next screen. I know from my sites with MyListing, I'm going to do subscriptions. Doesn't really matter here as long as we can get to the next screen. They're just trying to upsell you some stuff here. I'm not even sure what this stuff is. Power your membership. Let's see what this is for fun. We'll just learn about this together. WooCommerce. Okay, that's interesting. So it's actually not. They're saying that's what it would cost you per month, but they're actually trying to upsell you those plugins. That's interesting. I've never actually clicked on those. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. You can click just downloads, or if you're not gonna have any downloads, just subscriptions. We just need to get to the next screen. That's our main thing. Oh yeah, so there it is. That's the toggle. So it's telling you. That's interesting. Okay. Anyway, we're just gonna go on next. None of this stuff really matters, or as far as it doesn't have a cost, that is. Go back to the template. So yeah, uncheck physical products if you're not selling this type. Yeah, check downloads just so you get beyond the screen. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so what's next? Tell us about your business. You can just check this box. No, that doesn't work. Let's see what I say in the template. All right, it's just basically, doesn't really matter. How many products do you plan to display? You just say, I don't have any products yet, currently selling elsewhere. Choose whatever, just say no. And continue. Free features, do I talk about this? Yes, free features tab, uncheck. Yeah, okay, so we're just gonna uncheck, add recommended business features. Yeah, we're going to uncheck all of this and click continue. And we are using the MyListing theme. We're not using another theme, so cool. We're just going to click this continue with my active theme. All right, so that is it for the wizard. Let's go back to our template here. So we've satisfied all of that stuff. Now, as this template says, project template says, at this point, you will exit the setup wizard and continue setting up WooCommerce. Okay, so our first one up here is general. So WooCommerce, sorry about that, WooCommerce settings, general. So that's where we're dumped in there. Let's see what comes up here now. Review and adjust all settings on this tab is desired required. So nothing in here is MyListing dependent. It just depends on your particular setup. So your currency, your decimal separator if you want to have that. If you want to enable coupon codes, that would be there. Where you want to sell to. So I'm selling to all countries. I'm not doing physical products, so I'm disabling shipping calculations. Default customer location, no location by default. Let me see if that's in here. Yeah, I don't put that in there just because it's such personal preference. So you just basically run through this. Maybe I'll put my settings in there just so people have an idea and explain why I did that. But yeah, basically it's just preferences on this tab. It's not going to hurt anything, whatever you put in here. All right, so we're going to do that. We're going to save changes. Let's go back to our template, and now we're under products. General, review and adjust all settings under this tab as required. Inventory, okay, so let's just run through this together. So we're going to click on the products tab. And there's nothing really you need to set here that's going to affect my listing again. I turn off reviews on products. My weight unit is going to be pounds. I'm in the US. Totally up to you if you want to redirect people to your cart page after they add something to the cart. Let me see what I typically do here. Let me save this. Let me go back one level. I'll compare this to what I do on other starter sites. On another, I'll use another screen to do that. So yeah, that's all the same. Actually take out the address at this stage. Coupon codes I take out as part of a starter site just because I don't know if someone's going to want to do that or not on their site, so I take that out. US dollar left. I do zero decimal places. Okay, let's save that. All right, so now we're on the products tab. Yep, I leave all of this just like it is here, except for I changed it, the weight to pounds because I'm in the US, like I said, and I disable product reviews and ratings. Let me check one more thing. Let me make sure I do that across the board because I was looking on this starter site and I was pretty surprised on this one starter site I looked at. I had product reviews enabled. So let me see what let me check some other starter sites real quick and see what I'm doing on those. Actually, you know what? There's probably a reason why. I'm going to leave that on. I bet you there's a reason why I did that. I bet you I'm showing product reviews on the actual product pages and like the star ratings and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and leave that on. There's probably a reason I put that on there. Okay, so now we are on the inventory item under products. And for this, I don't have any physical products on my stores. Maybe you do, so I just uncheck stock management and save. Now we click on downloadable products. Again, maybe you might not have downloadable products. Totally depends on your store, as I'm going to keep saying. So there's nothing really to do here for me personally. So let's go to, and this next one's the same thing. Approved download directories, it doesn't really apply. Now what you could do for security reasons is you could just get rid of these, disable them all if you're not going to do any downloads. Totally up to you there. Let's click under advanced. I think I just leave this stuff at default. Yeah, leave that at default. Let's jump under payments. And before we go any further, let me go over to the project template and see where we are. So we're under products. Yep. All right, so now we're over on payments. And for this, yeah, this is also just very dependent on the site. I use Stripe for all of my sites. So for this, I go ahead and let's see. I can't remember where it is. Let me pull up the template here and see. Under the recommended ways to get paid area, click Get Started button next to the Stripe payments. Under recommended ways to get paid, where is that at? Recommended ways to get paid. Okay, here it is. So they constantly change this. So under reoccurring payments, we click on this free Stripe extension. So if we click on that, okay, that just takes you there. So yeah, another way to do it is just go here and install it manually. So go to plugins, add new, do a search for Stripe. Pull that in. Now there's all kinds of ways to add Stripe. I just go with the default WooCommerce plugin. It works well. Okay, so we did that. Now if we refresh our payments page, it's going to unlock a bunch of other things. And if we look at the core Stripe option right here, so we toggle that on when we're ready to go. Before we do that, we can just click Setup here. And then you'll run through your setup here. So let me go back to the template. So I give you some steps here to go through. Click on the enter account keys. Yeah, this walks you through how to set this up. It looks like, well, I know I'm going to have to update this just a little bit because we saw some things are worded differently and placed a little bit differently. But if you get the template, or you can just reference this video since it's showing on my screen, it'll walk you through how to get Stripe set up. It's not that difficult. It's actually really easy. But basically, you're going to click here on this Create or Connect an Account. I do not like that it takes you kind of away from your site, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to open that in a new tab. As it says, already have a Stripe account. You can put that in there. I'm not going to do that for this video, but that's how I would go about it. Another way is you can just go and set up Stripe and then come back here and enter your information. That's another way that you can go about it. All right, let's go back to our template here. Accounts and privacy. So let's cancel this Stripe. Let's go to accounts and privacy. Now another thing there, back on the payments tab, is obviously if you're going to take payments other ways, you need to add those payment methods in there. I also use PayPal. It's a pain in the butt to set up. I don't even do a guide or a video on it because it's such a pain in the butt, and they change the stuff around so much. It's just hard to keep up with. So I just decided not to keep up with that. So anyway, moral of the story on that is if you've got other payment gateways to set up, this is where you would do it. Let's go back to accounts and privacy. Now, what I like to do under this setting, this area, is I don't like to allow people to place orders without an account. You can't. If you do that, then it's hard to keep track of everything. It's hard to explain, but it's just better to have an account associated with people. It's just, I would highly recommend it. And then obviously you see the note here. If you're selling listing subscriptions or some other type of subscriptions on your site, then there's no way around it. So that recommendation alone tells me that the importance of not allowing guest checkout without so placing an order without an account. So I would turn that off. I would allow people to log into an account during their checkout. Next up is account creation. Yes, same thing. Allow customers to create an account during checkout. Same thing. Allow customers to create an account on the My Account page. Sure. Now, this is one that's kind of up for debate. I like to automatically create a password, a username and password when people sign up. register, and then send them a link to their password afterwards. The reason I do that is because the alternative is you got to fuss with the WooCommerce password strength meter and all of that, which not only could it could lead to people getting frustrated and abandoning your site because they can't come up with a secure password. Yes, believe it or not, people do struggle with that. On top of that, your site takes a performance hit when you have that. It does take some performance to make that happen. If you use the Perf Matters plugin like I do, then there's actually a setting in there that has to do with that WooCommerce password strength meter. That's how much of a performance ding there is. So you get around both of those issues, particular user abandonment and performance, by just generate the password and username for people. That's my recommendation. For GDPR and just for being a good website owner, I recommend removing personal data when it's requested. Okay, so I would check all 4 of those boxes. And there's nothing else you really need to do on this page. You can customize the privacy policy text that shows on your checkout and whatnot, or you can just let it go. I usually just let that go. And yeah, I think that's good there, and we'll save our changes. Let's go back to our template. And under emails. Okay, so we're going to the emails tab. Now, under here, what you want to make sure that you do is that anything that has to do with you being notified, you want to make sure that your email address, so we see the recipients column, you want to make sure that your email address, an active email address that you are going to check, is in there. So, for example, failed order. You want to know if orders are failing. So you want to make sure that that's hitting your inbox and you are seeing those. Okay, so put the right email address in those. So just go down through here and ensure that this is automatically going to pull from settings, general. Whatever you put in here is the administrative email address is going to automatically populate in here. Okay, but let's say that you are part of a team. What you can do is you can go in and you can edit this, click the manage button, and you can set this to multiple addresses. I think you separate them by a comma. Yeah, separate them by a comma. Or if you have email distribution lists that you set up, so meaning multiple email addresses are a part of one grouped email address. You could add that in there. Okay, moving on down, this is often overlooked, but a big thing in my opinion. Is the branding of the emails that WooCommerce sends out. So make sure the from name is what you want, the from email address, the header image, and if you want to see what this looks like on the fly, you can click this preview your template. So this is what it's going to look like out of the box if you do nothing else. So, like for example, let's just pretend I don't have this purple anywhere on my site, right? So I could jump in here and just set this to black, which is what I'm going to do myself. Okay, and we'll change the body text color to be the same. Let's save that, refresh this, and we'll see just that easy we're able to put our branding in place. Looking down at the footer here, we see the name of our website, built with WooCommerce. We don't want that. So what we want to do instead is you can just take the WooCommerce part out, or you can also put a link to your website. Let me pull up one of my sites here. I'll show you what I do. All right, almost there. Bear with me, please. Okay, here we go. So this is what I do. So go back here under email. So we take that out. So you can leave site title in there. Let's leave the dash in there too. So Control Z. Basically, let's just take out this built with WooCommerce part. So what I'm going to put in there instead, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm brain farting this. Let's just leave the site title for now. So I wanted to put a link to my website. I thought I had that on one of these. Let me check one more site. There we go. Okay. So this is what I had on another starter site. Okay, so we have that in there. Let's go ahead and save that and see how that looks. There we go. So it's just a simple link. Visit our website. Now you could go back in there and you could put, fit. There we go. Visit our website. Whatever you want to put there. And then obviously set the branding, the colors to be what you want it to be. Just play with that. And then you can put a header image in here. So let's say go to your media library. And let's say you want to drop your logo in there. You can copy the URL to your clipboard, jump over here to the email settings and drop that header image in. Save your changes. Refresh. There you go. Obviously, you probably want to put something different in there, but you see how to do it. That's the main thing. I just want to show you how to do that. Yeah, so that's that. Let's go back to our template here. We've done the emails. One of the check boxes is Store Management Insights. Disabling that. So it looks like they are now disabling that by default. I'm going to have to go back and check. So that's better because they were enabling that by default. I'll go back and check that. That's good. So integration. So for this, we go to the integration tab. And there's really nothing you need to do here. But if you want to auto-complete, geolocate addresses and things like that, then this is the section where you do it. What do I say here in the template? Yeah, in my opinion, the cons outweigh the pros from using this. The only pro is to save the customer a super small amount of time to select their country and region. The cons are it adds a slight performance overhead hit, adds to your database, could potentially show the wrong price to the customer. So I have a note in the template for what that's all about. So I definitely would not just enable this without knowing the repercussions or potential repercussions. Okay, all right, let's click on the Advanced tab. So for here, what you want to make sure of is that you've got a cart page pointing to the right cart page, checkout page is pointing to the My Account page. Now, when you install the WooCommerce plugin, it's gonna create this stuff on the fly, these pages. So if we go to our pages here, we see that those are created: our cart, checkout, My Account, and shop. One thing you'll note is that the terms and conditions page isn't set. So what you'll want to do is ensure that you have that set. I mean, you could have. It totally depends what you want to do there. I'll have another video on what I do for terms, but you just got to make sure that you set this page up here. Let me go back to this. Let's go back to the project template. We're under Advanced. No, we're not under Advanced. What are we under? Yeah, we're under Advanced Page Setup. Page setup, what do I say? At this point, WooCommerce should show you that you have all the pages you need except the terms and conditions page. I recommend creating a terms and conditions page at this point if it applies to your business and selecting that page in WooCommerce. This page doesn't have to be fully built out as a bare bones page will do for now. Okay, so yeah, so that's what that's saying. The reason I recommend building that right away or adding that right away is just so you don't forget. So we can just create a new page, terms and conditions, publish. Let's go back to our WooCommerce settings, refresh, And let's just choose that page here. So type in terms. Cool. So we've got that done. All of this other stuff is fine. We're just going to save our changes. The rest of the stuff you shouldn't have to mess with. REST API, webhooks, legacy API, WooCommerce.com. The one thing that I do here is disable suggestions. I think I have that in the template. Yeah, I recommend turning this off. So turn that off, save changes. Let's look under features. Now, this is total, again, this is another preference, the analytics. And I in the template I go into all of this. You can just leave that enabled unless you can read about it in my template or look it up yourself online. Just Google WooCommerce Analytics and what all it does, and see if it's worth keeping around for you. Okay. All right. Next up on our list is subscriptions, I believe. Yeah, this is new actually, so I'm gonna have to update this part of the template. Multi-currency, accept payments in multi-currencies prices. So I'm gonna have to look at that. That's something that's new. Subscriptions here. So because I chose subscriptions when I started setting up the store, if you recall, that's why this template or this tab has been dropped in there. But if you look at the plugins, we do not have the WooCommerce subscriptions plugin thrown in here. Now, one thing I will note here, I didn't know they actually did this, or maybe I did and just forgot. This WooCommerce payments plugin, you do not need this. Just get rid of this plugin. They sneak that in there. It's kind of like this. WooCommerce has a lot of sneaky ways of working their way into your stores where they don't necessarily need to get you into certain parts of their ecosystem. So you just got to really look out for that. I can't tell you how many sites I've seen that plugin installed and it's not even doing anything. So definitely take a look at that. So we need the WooCommerce subscriptions plugin in here for the next part. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add New. Upload plugin. We're going to browse and see if I have it here. Yep, there we go. WooCommerce subscriptions. We're going to bring that in. And then activate it. And let's go to our WooCommerce settings page again. Let's refresh this tab. And then you see that once you do that, it unlocks all of these other things. Looking back at our project template, I do cover this in here. Yeah, I'm going to do this in another video, a video all by itself, okay? Because it's a little involved here. So I'm going to call it quits on this video, and please subscribe to know when the next videos come out, or related to the series, or just in general for MyListing. All right, thanks for listening, and see you in the next video.